Here's how I made this vine generator using Blender. So it's built around a Bezier curve, so I can draw it into my scene in edit mode by using the draw tool set to surface. Then using geometry nodes, I'll instance curves along its length and randomize their rotation to create the branches. To wrap them back to the geometry, I'll add all the objects I want to include into a collection, add that into the graph, and distribute points across their faces before using a geometry proximity and set position node to shrink wrap the vines back to the surface. Using points rather than the original surface make the shapes a lot more organic and gives me more control over the form by playing with the density. Next I used a fillet curve node to smooth out the corners and convert it to a mesh using the curve factor and a float curve to taper the ends. For the leaves I instanced curve lines, randomized their rotation and converted them to a mesh using another curve line as the profile. And to create the leaf shape, I used the curve factor plugged into a curve radius with a float curve in between so I could have some control over the profile. For the material, I just stored a bunch of attributes and then used those in the shader editor, experimenting with different combinations to get as convincing a result as possible. Then to finish off, I packaged it up as a drag and drop asset, which I'll be sharing on my Patreon.